When forcibly seated into a chair, she began to pick at her clothing, to spit, to stamp on the floor, and, when not restrained, pounded her thighs violently with her fists.
It's interesting that the American Psychiatric Association, which was founded in 1844 in Philadelphia, took as its founder Benjamin Rush. Benjamin Rush was an alienist. He wrote a very detailed handbook of what we would call alienism today, the use of physical methods to restore sanity and disturb people. If you read that book by today's standards, it's horrible. It's really a book on torture.
Electroshocks and cold baths and all these terrible things that were done. I read about, leeches used to, stop people from, masturbating. So all these vicious, horrible, procedures. Flies, especially annoying to all other present, were allowed to accumulate on the patient's face and never brushed away.
If you've ever been to a farm, you know that the animals have flies on their faces, and they're so used to it that they don't even blink. Whereas if we had flies on our face, we'd be blinking constantly. So apparently Bloomer used little things like this to study Halliday, how sensitive she was to the environment.
She paid no attention to her examiners and could not be induced to answer questions. Persistent pricking, almost stabbing with the point of a sharp knife, elicited no responsive reflex. No responsive reflex.
Almost all of us date the history of psychology from 1879. That's the year that WILHELM WUNDT in Leipzig started the first laboratory. He's the one that would define psychology as the science of behavior. And I would say it was around the 1920s that the medical people shifted from those weird traditional methods of leeches and electric shock and torture. They shifted to more evidence-based methods.
At the conclusion of her examination, prisoner was lifted from her chair and taken, violently resisting, to her cell and crying, "Don't take me by the river."
What the alienists did in the 1900s, we're trying to do today in a scientific way. This is an exciting time because now we could understand much better where we were wrong and where we're right.
There's so many things we still don't know about the human mind. And the mental disorders are still as fascinating and shocking because you cannot see them, you cannot understand them.
The Alienist, only Mondays at 9 on TNT, and watch anytime on demand and on the TNT app.